The Zimbabwe forest is home to 6 lions, led by alpha male Zulu. The Pride's enclosure is surrounded by a huge release site, 900 acres of prime habitat where the lions will hone their hunting techniques and learn to work as a team. The process of introducing them to their new territory starts today and will be overseen by David and Operations Manager Richard Leach.
Hundreds and hundreds of people have worked towards this very moment. I mean, it's amazing.
To see all these fences up now and the foresight of everyone and just the thousands of man-hours that have been put in by every individual, regardless of their participation, has just been incredible. And everything has a purpose in life, and the purpose for this site was to have lions in it.
The lions may be led by Zulu, but the females form the heart of the Pride. This morning, 3 of them will be taken out to explore their new hunting ground.
Hey, you!
Keela and Kwandi are the most confident females in the programme. They're sisters and share a close bond. In sharp contrast, Loma is one of the lowliest lions, and she often finds herself bottom of the pecking order.
I really don't know how they're going to react to this area that we've built for them, but for me, this really can't be any more exciting. All I need now is for the lions to play ball and actually want to come out. Okay?
Just stay this side of the lions.
Everybody ready?
Right, let's go.
Moment of truth. Come on. Come, 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 come. Come on. Silence. Come on. Come on. Gates open.
To David's surprise, lowly Loma is the first to pluck up the courage she needs to leave the enclosure.
Hey, Loma. Come on. Come. Hello, my girl. It's official. Loma is the first lion in the Zimbabwe forest. Hey, Keela.
Sisters Keela and Kwandi aren't far behind.
Hello, Kwandi. That's it, my girl. Hello. Come on, my girl.
The 3 females are almost 2 years old. At this age, the handlers sometimes walk on the ground with them. But as the lions get older, the risk to the handlers increases. So David needs to introduce the lions to the idea of walking out with a jeep.
Off you go.
Bye.
Okay, let's get going.
Myself and my colleague Richard have done first drive outs with so many different lions, and it's always slightly different because you can't be sure 100% how that lion is going to react to the environment or to the vehicle. So it is all kind of practicing a bit for them and for us. The only thing we have to do now is find them again. Keela, Kwandi, come on.
Can you see them, Dave?
There's one there. Gently, Kwandi.
Come on.
David has helped raise the 3 females since they were cubs.
Come, 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 come. Slowly. Now, I can tell the difference between these lions, even if I am just getting a glimpse of a part of their body above the grass. There's Loma. Loma, for example, actually is significantly paler than either Keela and Kwandi, and just at the end of her tail, the black tuft is much, much longer, much bushier. Come on.
Off you go. Try and do a bit of driving, a bit of calling.
We can try. Come, 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 come. No response at all. Come on, Kwandi. Come, 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 come.
David is trying to lead the females to a natural source of water. In the wild, in the intense African heat, finding water and remembering its location can mean the difference between life and death.
They're going the wrong way. They're clearly confused. Come on. Come, 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 come.
So the idea here, guys,
Come
is
on.
to try and teach them that they need to follow the vehicle, because I don't think they understand what we're trying to do.
Come on. Richard and the handlers are just going to try and swing back behind them, just to push them in this direction. And here they come now. Hey, Loma.
Excellent.
Good girl. They are now getting the hang. Not only are they starting to go in the direction that we want, but they're actually starting to lead as well. Loma is surprising me. She was the first one out of the enclosure. I thought it would be Quandi, and I know she's up the front, and she's really the sort of the lowliest, scaredier one out of all of the lions in this group. So yeah, she's doing really well. We're starting to see them run around a bit, we're starting to see them play, and that's always a good sign that a lion is feeling fairly comfortable.
In the wild, lions spend most of their time resting. In the heat of the day, sisters Keela and Quandi soon run out of energy. But undeterred, lowly Loma continues the search for water.
Hey, Loma.
She sees something.
And she quickly finds what David's been searching for.
There's a water hole.
Come, 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 come.
Ow! Ow!
Hey, my girl. Have something to drink. We've brought the lions out to one of 3 water holes that exist within the site. They've had a bit of a drink, and now they're just chilling out under a bush. And at this point, they now have 900 acres. If they decide to get up and go that way or go that way, that's absolutely fine. They can do it. We don't have to worry. They're fenced in. They can't go beyond the boundary. And they can start to just be lions. And I think really the most important thing is, as of now, the Downward Forest is officially lion country.
The females are not yet ready to fend for themselves, so for now, the handlers lead them back to their enclosure before the light starts to fade.
Come, 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 come.
Over the coming weeks, all of the Pride members will get the chance to explore their new territory.
Come on, my girls.
And together, they'll move closer to eventual release.
Well done. Come on, Quandi.
Ten days ago, 10-month-old Rafiji was brought to the park with her brother Rwanda and sister Ruma.
We're over here.
When they first arrived, David noticed the cubs were withdrawn
Come on.
and showed little interest in playing.
There's nothing going on.
Rafiji was giving David most cause for concern, as she was spending a lot of time alone. 10 days on, and there's a huge difference in their behavior. The handlers have been working with the cubs, encouraging them to play and develop their social skills. Research student Ray Kokesh has been monitoring the cubs' progress as part of a study for Manchester Metropolitan University. She's noticed the biggest improvement in Rafiji.
Rafiji being the less playful and less social, but in the week she's really come out of her shell. I mean, really, really has, and it's been amazing to watch. I mean, she's giving these two a run for their money now. She's chasing them around, she's picking up sticks. She gives Rwanda a real good knockabout when she feels like it. It's brilliant to watch.
As the cubs spend more time with the handlers, they start to see them as dominant members of the pride. And when the handlers are around, the cubs' instincts tell them it's safe to relax and play.
What's been really interesting, how they react when people are with them, and they are just so much more playful, which reflects natural behaviour of cubs in the wild. When cubs are left alone by their mother and by pride members, they know instinctively to keep quiet, keep still, to avoid predation. And it's when the pride members return, that's when they have the confidence to play and the safety of the pride.
A lion's place within a pride is determined by dominance. So for these cubs, developing social skills is just as important as learning how to hunt or fight. Establishing a relationship with the handlers is an important first lesson for the cubs. Kefas Mengela has been working with them since they arrived.
Mostly, they recognize us through our voices. Immediately when you come to the enclosure, when you call them, they know, oh, this is one of our pride.
The cubs' willingness to play and establish bonds is a sign that their natural instincts are starting to grow. And Ray is confident they'll soon be ready to take the next step.
just watching their development from when they arrived, and I cannot wait to see when they go out on walks. That's going to be really interesting. They're like 3 different cubs now, they really are.
In Zambia, captive-bred lions are being raised by human handlers like David Youldon as part of a unique release program. Every day, the lions are led into the African bush so they can learn the skills they'd need to survive in the wild. 12 days ago, 18-month-old sisters Temi and Swana reached an important stage in their development. They were introduced to 2 other females to form a small pride.
Nice.
But Temi and Swana were wary of their new pride mates and refused to submit without a fight. Swana was determined to push her luck with the biggest female, Rusha. Two weeks later, and the 2 sides seem to have called a truce. Research technician Jackie Kirk has been monitoring their behaviour.
Hey.
Hello. The first week was all a bit tense. The R's pretty much sat to this side of the water pan and the T's on the other, and they just basically glared at each other. There's a lot of social interactions going on now and a lot of play. It's still a bit tense at times.
Who's making the first move?
It generally tends to be Swana and Rusha who are more interested in each other.
Is Swana still sort of testing? Because when we first put them in, she was going up and just kind of ankle tapping,
Yeah.
like testing it. Is she still doing that?
She is still showing a lot of testing behaviour.
Well, like this. in
Like
fact.
that.
Today, David has an opportunity to see how the 4 females are bonding by watching their behaviour when their relationship is put under pressure. Specialist wildlife vet Dr. Ian Parsons has arrived at the park to give vaccinations to the lions. Maintaining their health is a vital part of the programme.
Rabies is very prevalent in Zambia. There's always a risk that, being carnivores, they could be exposed to rabies at any time. Basically, the pole is attached to the plunger of the syringe. You simply plunge the needle into the animal, and the pole does the rest. It actually injects as a normal syringe would. It's just a matter of doing it from a remote distance, so you don't have to have your hands anywhere near the animal at the time. Come in with me, Dan.
Being injected is stressful for most animals. Watching how Temi and Swana interact with their new pride mates during the procedure will show David how their bond is developing.
If you can get them to come to the fence so that they're right on the fence when I jab them, it'd be great.
We can give it a go. Come. Hello. Come on.
They're accustomed to getting lots of fuss and attention through the fence like this, so they'd be much more suspicious if we were inside. And the needle going in is a bit like a fly bite, so they possibly don't even know what's happening to them, which is actually ideal.
The 4 females call to each other for reassurance as they gather at the fence.
Who was that?
Okay, Swana.
Okay, great.
Good chance to get Temi now.
Temi takes her frustration out on Rusha, but it doesn't escalate into a fight.
This is Rusha.
When it's Rusha's turn,
Good girl.
she seems unfazed,
That's it.
Done.
Good girl.
but she instinctively seeks out Temi and Swana and lies close to them. It's Rundi's turn, but she just wants to sit in the shade with the others.
Come, Rudy.
She says you're not in the shade.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm moving out the shade.
my girlie.
For Dr. Parsons to inject her safely, her body needs to be closer to the fence.
Come on.
But she refuses to move.
Come on.
David tries to tempt her away from the other females with some bait.
Rundi is sitting in the shade. I'm standing in sunlight, so she's not massively inclined to come into a position that we want her to, because we can't dart her head on.
Come.
So I'm stealing Richard's hat. See if I can just get her
You could
attention.
sacrifice the hat, maybe throw it in.
Come on.
Compensation
Hey,
there.
Rundi. Hello. Yeah, let me try this way.
David changes tack.
Rundi, come on.
Still using the hat as bait, he encourages Temi and Swana to move along the fence.
Keep your attention over that side.
Rundi moves to join them, and Dr. Parsons takes his shot.
That's it. Got her. There you are, sir. I'm going to wash my hands now.
Don't miss opportunities when you have them.
The reaction of the 4 females during the vaccinations confirms David's belief that they're growing closer.
If they are feeling slightly on edge as a result, what you would see is that they go to their nearest kin member, which in this case would be their sister, for reassurance. But what we're seeing here is that they're actually going to, any and all of the group, which is a good sign that they're feeling secure with each other, and therefore this bonding process is working.
While Dr. Parsons is visiting the park, he takes the opportunity to check up on 10-month-old Rafiji and her brother and sister.
Hello. Come on.
Just come away from the gate.
Okay, who do you want to start with?
Oh, we've all stand still.
Rafiji?
The curly tail.
Dr. Parsons oversaw the cubs' arrival at the park, and today he's giving them a general health check to see how they've progressed.
Colour of your gums is great. These are nice, bright, healthy pink colour. Good indicator of how much blood they have circulating in their system. You just want to feel your lymph nodes, that's the main thing. There are some lymph nodes around the head and front of the shoulder here, which, if they're enlarged, are an indication of some diseases. Nothing there, nothing there. Good girl. They were quite dehydrated when they first arrived, weren't looking in their best of shape, but they've picked up beautifully.
Since the cubs arrived, David and the handlers have been spending more and more time with them. And they've noticed that one of the females, Ruma, sometimes walks with a limp.
Was it a back leg in the back
I
legs?
mean, Ruma at the moment, you can see she's just got a bit of a wobble in the way that she walks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's certainly better than it was when she first arrived, but you can see
Yeah,
she's just
she's a little
slightly
bit just sort of sloping.
slopes to the right.
Yeah, if that was a dog, I would say that it looks like it might have slightly dysplastic hips. Do you know if these cubs were raised by their mum or were they hand-raised?
These were hand-raised.
So inevitably there would have been some nutritional imbalances. It's just impossible to do a completely natural job.
Okay.
Okay, but that an animal can actually accommodate to a certain extent as it grows and gain a bit of musculature, and it may disappear with time.
Dr. Parsons will monitor Ruma's condition over the coming months,
Okay, good.
but he's hopeful it won't have any lasting effects on her.
They look very good. They've settled in beautifully, yeah. Very contented lions. Excellent.
Gently, gently. Hey, Rafiji.
After the cubs have been checked over, David leads them on an excursion through the Mozio-Otunya National Park.
Rafiji. Keep going. Keep going.
Since they arrived, the cubs have learnt that it's safe for them to play with each other inside their enclosure.
Go on, good girl.
Now, research student Ray Kokesh wants to see if they have the same level of confidence when they're out in the wild.
It's really important to see they're not fearing anything, and they're still learning. There's still so many new smells, still so many species they've got to interact with. And with everybody being here, with the pride we're taking them out, we're showing this is what you can hunt, this is what you can play with, this is what you should avoid. And it's so important if they're going to be released, this is what they need to learn now.
Come on, come.
You thirsty kids?
On the edges of the Zambezi River, the water cools the cubs down. Rwanda starts to play by practicing his hunting skills on his sister.
Nice and stinky.
He tries again, but this time his instincts tell him to hide, to keep the element of surprise.
This kind of play actually is exactly the same whether they're as young as Bemba and Bisa or whether they're as big as Temi and Swana. It's all the same moves. It's the same sort of bites and holds and stalk and running through water. It's this kind of play that gives you a good chance to see how the kind of dominance levels of the group are happening. Now, Rwanda obviously has the benefit of being significantly larger than both the girls because he's male, so he's always going to have that first place. Good boy. Is he picking on you, Rafiji? Yeah, I'm not sure Rafiji's so chuffed with this whole thing. You've got a bit mucky now.
It may look rough, but playing together is important for the cubs to develop the skills they'll need in later life. Not only are they practicing hunting techniques, the siblings have started to form a strong bond.
One thing that we can see with this group is that they are really close-knit. They spend an awful lot of time just sitting on top of each other, even more so than you might see other kin groups doing. They spend a lot of time just cleaning each other and chatting. They're just so talkative. I mean, there's almost never a point when one of them isn't waffling on about something, much like me.
The cubs will be led into the bush every day. Spending time in their natural environment will help them develop the confidence they'd need to survive in the wild.